Fire Commission meeting. If you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, from a roll call standpoint, myself, Kelsey Cornuffel are here. Jerry Bringard is excused. Carl Bletcher is excused. He is out of state. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? If not, a motion to approve the agenda would be in order. Moved by Kelsey, supported by Cornuffel. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. Approval of the minutes. In your packet, you have the meeting minutes for September 14th, 2023. Upon review, if there's no modifications or corrections, I'd ask for a motion.
I move.
Moved by Kelsey, supported by Cornuffel. Questions or comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. Expenses, Chief. Approval for, we want to take a look at the October 23, or maybe it's actually the September of 23
September 23.
expenses.
Right. As taxpayers know, the fire department has two millages, operations millage and equipment millage. The fire department obtains no funds to purchase equipment or operate its fire department without, from any other sources besides the millage. All expenses are within limits of those two millages, and all expenses look as in line for the year. Nothing unusual.
Any questions of the chief as it relates to the expenses for September 23? If not, a motion to approve the expense report for September 2023.
I make the motion.
Moved by Cornuffel. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Kelsey. Questions, comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Discussion items. Chief.
As the commission may know, the fire department has purchased 22 new firefighters' helmets and the door trainer. The two helmets are necessary. The helmets that the firefighters are operating with are 1996 helmets. NFPA 1851 says helmets must be replaced within 10 years. We're behind on that. However, as the commission knows, the fire department is in a transition period. They have been for a year, and they are significantly updating their equipment, which will be part of the action item tonight. The door trainer, the helmets will be here in a month and a half. However, the month and a half delivery date for the door trainer is not a long period to wait. The door trainer is necessary. Most of the schools, all the schools have metal doors. Many of the firefighters need to become proficient in accessing metal doors throughout the community. The fire department thanks the fire commission and the board in approving that purchase. So we've been updating our equipment and look forward to having those two new pieces delivered to the fire department. Run reports. Run reports seem to be steady through the year up to October 11, 2023. We've had 511 EMS calls. In terms of fire calls, we've had 192. We have 70 more fire calls than we did last year this time. This is probably attributable to the weather storm emergency we had back in February and attributable to the down wire calls that we had. So 72 more fire calls than last year. EMS calls, we seem to be steady with the same number as we did last year. Open house was a success for the community and the fire department. I say for the community, we had approximately 400 citizens with their children come to the open house. It was beautiful weather. It's an opportunity for the citizens to see what they invest in, not only in equipment, but in personnel. They get to meet the firefighters. They get to see how professional they are and how proficient they are. And I think that was on display. The equipment was on display. I think you could go through the fire department and look at equipment that's 25 years of age, and you'd be sworn that you just bought it the week before. The firefighters put a lot of personal time into maintaining that equipment. As we mentioned before, Kevin Langley was superior in providing the necessary mechanics to keep that equipment running. And all the other firefighters do a great job in also maintaining that equipment, making sure that it's kept clean and ready to roll. Tonight's big item is the purchase of a new ambulance. We have 2 ambulances on Grozio. We call them Bravo 1 and Bravo 2. Bravo 2 was purchased in 2009. Throughout the years, the fire department has maintained an aging equipment replacement and capital aging schedule. I've updated it to bring it up to 2023, but prior chiefs have always updated it through the years. Bravo 2, purchased in 2009, is a Braun Econoline 450 diesel. It's due to be replaced this year, 2023. We put a significant amount of time in trying to replace that unit. We put the request for bid on Mitten, which is the state vendor procurement, let's say database, if you can. We got 2 bids. One was Mercy Sales, which was out of Saginaw, and their product is a Horton ambulance. Their bid came in at $320,000. The other bid came from Kodiak Sales out of Grand Ledge, I believe, or Grand Bend? Grand Ledge. And their product is a Braun product. Their bid came in at $390,000. $390,000 from Kodiak, $320,000 from Mercy. However, with the experience of the firefighters, we got together and we sort of dissected the bid, which can be 35 pages long. And we noticed on the bid from Mercy Sales, it did not include a chassis, and it did not include a striker unit, and no graphics. Well, the chassis alone is $63,000. So the $320,000 bid, when you add the chassis and the striker unit, is over $390,000. So the 2 bids in a complete package are in the $390s. We met with the salesperson, Matt Keach, in person at the fire department, and that was myself, Kevin Langley, and firefighter Marino. And we looked at the bid that came from Kodiak on the Braun unit, and we looked at the 35 pages. It took us 2.5 hours, and we got rid of some items that we thought we could minimize without jeopardizing public safety or minimizing public safety. And we got that bid down from $390,000 to $340,897. So the fire department did its due diligence in making sure that the citizens received value and ensuring that we kept our equipment budget in line for purchases that we may have in the future. So the Braun unit that we're asking for the commission to recommend is a F550 6.7 turbo diesel 4-wheel drive. The unit that we will keep is not a 4-wheel drive. So both our units we have now are not 4-wheel drive. The fire department thought for the $1,500 it'd be important to get a 4-wheel drive ambulance. You never know. I don't believe the township or the taxpayers would tolerate, we can't make it through the snow. I know it's a heavy vehicle, but for the $1,500, we believe that we should have a 4x4 ambulance. And this other important factor is that this is a gas vehicle. This is not a diesel. We researched purchasing a demo instead of waiting for a new vehicle, but the demos are all diesel. And in talking to the people that the fire department knows in the fire service, the fire departments are avoiding the diesels with the environmental issues, environmental equipment, and the extra maintenance that a diesel kind of throws at you. The fire departments are staying away from the diesel, so they're going to a gas. So this F-550 is going to be a gas engine and not a diesel. Other than that, time is of the essence. When we started this search 6 months ago, the salespeople at Kodiak indicated 360 days from date of order to date of delivery. You may remember that because I promoted that to you back then. And now Kodiak, the sales team, is being told 1,050 days from date of order to date of delivery. Now, of course, Matt tells me that's what we're being told. We expect your unit to come in sooner than that. So, time is of the essence, and that's why I am asking the commission to recommend to the board that we forthwith order the unit from Kodiak in the amount of $340,897.
All right, well, we have an action item that's going to come in a bit. Why don't you finish your chief's report, and then we will take that action.
Certainly. Fire department is proud to announce that we have promoted 3 firefighters to sergeant level. These are firefighters that are performing very well. One is in paramedic school. Another firefighter promoted is a Detroit Fire Department fire investigator. And the other firefighter that's been promoted has been on the fire department for 10 years. He has extensive training in pump operations. I trust them all. I trust them to be incident commander should there not be a chief available. Now, these are 3 sergeants. We have one other sergeant that has been in this position, and that's the fire marshal, Bob Roscoe. So in all, we'll have 4 sergeants. Next item I'd like to discuss or note is that we have a new fire marshal, Bob Roscoe. He's here with me. This is an individual who's gained the trust of the chief. Bob's been on the department how many years? 10 years? 11 years. I see Bob every day. Bob is shown to have an excellent work attitude. He's very fungible with all the tasks that I have asked him to perform and with all the firefighters. He's a great representative of the fire department. I know he's been down to Township Hall inspecting extinguishers, and everyone I run into says Bob has got the candid, straightforward, personable attitude to make him a great fire marshal. But let's make note, let's not be confused. Bob performs a litany of other duties at the fire department than just fire marshal. Okay, unlike fire marshals in the past before Kevin Langley, fire marshals are now required to make calls 24 hours a day with the chiefs and all the other firefighters. So the fire marshal is not just a fire marshal. Okay.
Congratulations, Bob.
Yeah, Bob. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And I'm proud to say that, as far as I'm aware, this is the first time that there was an open invitation to applicants for the fire marshal's position, and the first time there's been interviews to pick the fire marshal. So we were all inclusive at the fire department, and we interviewed 3 candidates. So I'm glad to say I was the first chief to do that, and thanks, Bob. Anyway, membership on the fire department, increasing membership. There's almost, it's at the top of the priority list of the fire department. Membership at the fire department is extremely important, not only so that we can staff the calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, to ensure that we have members showing up for calls, but it's extremely important for skill sets to be transferred to the next generation of firefighters to keep the fire department in its makeup it is now, saving the taxpayers millions of dollars a year to ensure that the scheme continues in the future. It's very important that the fire department not take its foot off the pedal. The job hiring event that we had back in August was a success. We obtained 2 new high-quality members out of the job fair. One we interviewed a couple weeks ago. He came to the job fair. He's now a probationary member. And Nicole came to the job fair, and she was interviewed a month and a half ago. And she's in EMT class right now. The individual that we just hired a week and a half ago, he starts firefighter class mid-November. And both of them have a very good work ethic.
Are they younger?
They're in their 40s. The member we just took on a year and a half ago is a graduate of Albion College. He has a bachelor's degree. He went to 2 years of medical school, and due to a health issue, could not continue. He was a former wrestler at Grosio High School. He's, I think, Carl's about 42 years of age. Nicole, she's approximately the same age, with 3 kids, and her husband live on Rucker Road.
Well, it's good that we're getting people.
Yes, as you know, Kevin Langley moved on to Traverse City. So you get 5 new members. You may lose 1 or 2 in the year to come through job opportunities.
But it's
and
good
other
that you're
issues.
still building the department.
Yes, when I came on as chief, we had 16 members. Now I think we're up to 22. But you cannot ever stop advocating for new members.
Exactly.
The taxpayers passed a millage to provide more money for operations. Some of that is to ensure that we have the resources financially to accommodate these new members. Without the financial resources to accommodate in our budget new members, we can advocate for new members all day long, but we can't pay for them. We can't pay for their training. We can't pay for their health insurance. We can't pay for their workers' comp. So it's so important that the taxpayers understand that the operation millage is significantly linked to how secure the fire department is in the numbers of members. It takes time to build the fire department because you got to put them through school. They're not firefighter EMTs for maybe a year and a half to 2 years. In the meantime, you might be losing members.
And how much are they getting paid?
Yeah, and technically, they don't get paid anything.
I know, they're a volunteer department.
Right, yeah, they're not getting a wage. Some of them get their health care paid for by the township, but I'm telling you, somebody like me, and it's just my wife and myself and my wife on the policy, health care, you're talking about firefighters who are responding to calls 365 days a year in all sorts of weather and all sorts of hazards for a policy they could maybe buy for $11,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the, uh, taxpayers passed a millage to provide more money for operations. Some of that is to ensure that we have the resources financially to accommodate in our budget new members. Without the financial resources to accommodate in our budget new members, we can't pay for them. We can't pay for their training. We can't pay for their health insurance. We can't pay for their workers' comp. So it's so important that the taxpayers understand that the operation millage is significantly linked to how secure the fire department is in the numbers of members. It takes time to build the fire department because you got to put them through school. They're not firefighter EMTs for maybe a year and a half to 2 years. In the meantime, you might be losing members.
And we have one of the best fire departments in the state. Just take a look at the.
Oh, we're the envy of volunteer fire departments.
Yeah.
Not one of the best,
The-
the best.
The best.
Well, yes.
I can tell you, I was up in court in Clare, Michigan, and this was about 4 years ago. And the prosecutor I'm talking to is on the volunteer fire department because they couldn't staff volunteers. And it was a county call to all county employees to get on the volunteer fire department because they couldn't staff. So
We're blessed that
we have great value in our citizens, and I commend them for coming
our
forth and
department is
putting their
very
time.
good because we're one of the lowest paid
Well,
insurance wise.
well, we run Dallas 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for approximately, I'll argue, $380,000 a year,
And
and that's 22 of us.
22 of us.
And Dallas, and I think that may include my wages. So I can't say enough. I know a lot about the fire department, and any day I'll sit down with a citizen. Okay, as I stated, firefighter helmets are ordered. They were ordered. The total purchase price was $10,033 and some change. And the firefighter staff obtained a grant for $10,000 from the state of Michigan. And I again commend the fire staff, Lorraine and Ann Darzniak put that together. And so out of the taxpayer's pocket, 22 helmets for $33 and some change. So those are my discussion items.
All right, we have one action item, recommendation to purchase new ambulance, and I suppose, per the chief's update, a motion to recommend to the township board the purchase of Kodiak ambulance pursuant to the agreed-upon spec sheet at the purchase price of $340,897. Is there a motion of that effect?
I'll move.
I'll make the
Moved by
motion.
Dallas, support by Cornhuffel. Questions or comments? Only thing is, whoever's taking minutes, obviously make it detailed so that resolution would go to the township board for its upcoming meeting.
It is on the agenda.
It is, right.
Yeah.
There's no other questions or comments. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried. Public comment. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to have public comment? There's no one in the audience. We need a motion to adjourn.
Move.
Moved by Dallas. Is there support? Support
Support.
by Cornhuffel. Questions, comments? If not, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Thank you and have a good night.